Good morning. So yesterday I talked a little bit about what happens when we get triggered. And what I had shared was that, the root cause of any trigger is when we are taken from the present moment. That's when we feel triggered. And today I thought I would go a little bit deeper into what's happening in our mind when we get triggered. Right? Yesterday I talked about the body, how we land, how we ground, things like that. But what's actually happening in our mind when we get triggered? And to help you understand that, to illustrate it in a way that's very real, I thought I would share about this time in my life. It was when I was going through the dark night of my soul. It was the most horrifying time in my life. I can smile now about it, but it was something I would never wish upon anybody else. And what had happened is something I can't actually discuss. There's actually legal issues, and until I have clearance from multiple attorneys independently, that's a story that will remain quiet until hopefully the right time can come when it can help heal and serve other people. But for now, that dark night of the soul, there was a moment in there where I was literally on my knees. I was just buried and torn, and I felt, for a moment, a little crack right in my brain. I didn't know what it was, but I felt it was very clear as day. And then I realized I was about to go insane. Literally, I was going to lose my mind, and I was going to be no longer Chris, and not in a good way. Not when we kind of lose our mind and the ego goes off and it's oh, okay, now I'm more present. No, this was the kind that takes you the other way. And it was scary. And when that moment happened, I realized this crack in my brain, when people say they're cracking up, they're losing their mind, they've lost it, I knew what they meant now. And what I realized in that moment is I had two choices. Either I was going to allow myself to go insane, or I was going to find my way back to sanity. And I really didn't fully know what was going on at the time, as far as internally, the processes and what I ended up going through. But what I came to realize about that experience, and the reason why it was so painful for me, is because I had a belief about reality. I said reality should be a certain way. I believed that the good people should win. I believe that truth prevails. I believe that goodness matters, kindness matters, and all of these values and principles were exactly not getting me what I wanted in life. I was at the worst, hardest, most painful place in my life, and none of those values got me what I wanted. And I realized this is the problem, right? When we are cracking up, when we are triggered, anytime this is coming up for us, it's because we expect reality to be a way that it is not. And our mind keeps trying to find a way to reconcile the reality it sees and the reality it believes. And these two cannot coexist. We cannot have them coexist unless there's exactly one thing. And that is, we believe that reality is exactly the way it should be. That what is happening to us is exactly right for this right moment in time. Just like Course in Miracles says, no one is ever sent to us by accident, right? That things happen in our life for a reason, for a time, for a moment, even the darkest, most painful, horrifying things that I would never wish to be upon even the people who perpetrated against me. Yet still, the reality is, when we get triggered, the same thing is happening. When we get triggered, what is happening, quite simply, is that we are away from the present moment, and more specifically, we believe the present moment should be a certain way, and it is not. So next time you're feeling triggered, next time you're feeling angry, next time you feel like the world is turned against you, and I know personally and deeply what that feels like in ways, like I said, I don't wish upon anybody else, but when you feel that way, really land in yourself and look for what is true about reality and how can you align to that truth. We may not like what's going on. We may feel helpless. We may feel hopeless. I know that's exactly how I felt, helpless, hopeless. There was really, in some cases, literally nothing I could do except for pray and try and take one step forward in any direction. Maybe it was meditating. Maybe it was just trying to do a little bit of work. Sometimes it was trying to take a step in the right direction for resolving the problem that had, everything that was causing the dark night of soul in my life, one little step. But at the end of the day, every trigger, every moment of anger, every time we feel like we are not ourselves, it's because of one simple thing, which is that we are expecting reality to be differently than it is. And when we can align to that, to the moment, to what is here now, we can find peace even in the most horrifying situations. Not because the situation is better, no, but because we choose to perceive it just a little bit differently, because we decide that our sanity is more important than what is going on in the world outside us. Take care. Have a good morning.